Today we're going east, then north, mostly to the east. It's a beautiful day and there will be long hours of daylight, which is good. It also might be very hot. We are back in Albany. We've been here before. Today we're just passing through Albany. We have other places to be. This is Millersburg, right north of Albany. Compared to the rest of the Willamette Valley, Albany and the surrounding area was industrial in traditional sense. This is a metal plant, for example. Also a lot of wood products industry here. So a little bit different. And this particular town, Millersburg, which is immediately north of Albany, for many years, I don't know if this is absolutely true, but for many years, there was a negative tax to live here because they raised so much money through property tax from the industry, which made it kind of unsightly to some people. So there was actually a negative tax. People got money to live here. More of the Millersburg heavy industry, or at least medium industry. Also, as you can see, not a real fun place to ride. Jefferson city limits. This bridge ahead separates Lynn and Marion County, and it goes over the Santiam River. This is Jefferson, Oregon. We're in Marion County. Coming here is kind of a hallmark holiday for that reason. I just wanted to cross the county line. I used to live here many years ago. Last time I lived here was 20 years ago. I've probably been back since then. Small town, kind of getting bigger. I believe more people are moving here as a suburb of Albany, but still pretty small, not a lot of services. For the next hour or two, I am going to be doing something somewhat symbolic and maybe silly. So something about me, I was raised in the Portland area, actually in Battleground, north of Vancouver in Washington State, until I was 8. Then, around the time I turned 8, we moved 5 or 6 miles that way. So later as a teenager, I walked a lot around the Salem area, and in my 20s, a lot around Portland. And I've actually walked everywhere between Battleground, Washington, and probably this intersection, don't know the exact point. And the one section I have not walked along that entire route is between here and Albany. So I'm going to be walking. I got here on my bike, and for the next 5 miles, I'm going to be walking. Originally for this walk I had a different plan. I was going to walk on a country road on the other side of that hill. But then on the way here, bicycling through Millersburg, I saw that there was a very nice sidewalk here. So even though the walk's a little less scenic, I have a sidewalk instead of a very narrow shoulder. So I'm taking this route. This might sound silly, but one of the reasons why I'm doing this is I'm thinking about Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited, which was an album where he talked about Highway 61, metaphorically connecting the Delta Blues, Louisiana, New Orleans, up to where he lived in Minnesota. So this road, such as it is, connects where I grew up, where I was a child, where I was a teenager, where I was in my 20s. So it's kind of symbolic. I know it's silly. I mean, I've bicycled it. So what does walking add? I don't know, but I'm doing it. Y por mis chilenos, este lugar se llama Arauco. No sé por qué. I'm back in Albany. Mission accomplished. I've completed the logic. And from here, I'm going to bicycle back. One thing about doing this is instead of seeing all the communities that I've lived in as separate places, I see them on a continuum. This is a long way from Portland, but for me, in my mind, I can mentally backtrack all the way to Laurelhurst Park and beyond. It took me several decades, and actually doing it is, very theoretical, but in my mind, all the towns of the Willamette Valley, at least this far, are all kind of in one community. And I think that's a good result. And it comes from walking and seeing things on the ground. Not necessary to walk every step. That's kind of my conceit. But I think that walking and seeing how the towns connect, and that they aren't just discrete entities out in the middle of nowhere, but that they're all connected, I think that's an important lesson. But right now I'm pretty hot and tired, so it's time to go home. I'm back at Highway 34, back at the Alameda. Corvallis is 3 miles that way. It's almost 9 p.m. I've been out all day. Time to go home.